Alright, we're finally freaking doing it. Today we're gonna be going over the ammo types. All of them. I did not miss any today. At least I'm pretty sure I didn't. And I double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked, quintuple checked, everything. I made absolutely sure that I got every single ammo type ever created in here. There is probably not going to be hardly any chat interaction today because I don't have much time to stream, but I've kind of run into a problem where when I record on Streamlabs, it deletes whatever I record immediately. It does not save any of my recordings to my computer. So I have no choice but to stream this because I have no way of actually screen recording on my computer right now. So with all that out of the way, we have to go over these ammo types. Now, I'm going to address one thing that was pretty heavily noted in my Nerf rant video that I didn't really think about at the time. A lot of these ammo types have been long since discontinued, and judging them in comparison to other ammo types now is unfair. So, for the sake of this, I am not going to be comparing these ammo types to things that are released now. I will be judging these ammo types based off of how they performed back in the day that they were originally created in. I have not been around forever, and I know that there are probably bajillions of super obscure, random, single-use ammo types that I don't remember, like the Dude Perfect arrows that only appeared for the Dude Perfect signature bow and then were gone forever. I'm not really going to be counting stuff like that because those aren't really ammo types more than they are just single-use monstrosities that were created for one thing and one thing only. So, with all that out of the way, let's get into this. This is going to be quite a day. And I will talk a little bit to the chat right now if you guys want to talk, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to start with the old school Mega Dart. These darts weren't really called Mega Darts back in the day because these things had one use and one use only. Fire out of a thing and make some form of distance. And that is all they were trying to do. They were never trying to be accurate. They were never trying to be efficient. They were just trying to be a fun projectile that worked. So for that, you can't really judge these darts as not being the best thing ever, as well as the fact that they were immediately discontinued when N-Strike hit and they started making... Will Nerf basketball be on here? No. When N-Strike hit and Streamlines came around and Whistlers came around. So I'm going to be generous and put this ammo type in B tier. It did what it was trying to do. It didn't do any better than it needed to do, but it also didn't really do badly. Then we move on to Whistler darts. These were the primary types of darts released in the N-Strike series. I'm also going to bring dart tags down here, so we'll get to dart tags faster. Hello, Vesic. Hello, Nightwolf. Dart tag, or not dart tag, N-Strike Whistler darts are a strange case, because the whole point of them was to whistle. I mean, that's what they were supposed to do. They did not perform well at all. They made noise, and that is what they did, and they are also known for being extremely fragile, and really not good longevity-wise. These darts did not perform very well back in the day, and they still don't perform well now. They are overweighted in the front, and the whistling part of it just doesn't really add that much anyway, so I'm going to put this in C tier. It definitely could have been better. The same thing applies to suction darts, but again, suction darts were kind of trying to do the same thing that old school Megas were. They were trying to just be a thing that fires and sticks to windows and stuff. And I have several of these suction darts, and they work pretty damn good, honestly. They stick pretty good to windows and stuff. So they did accomplish what they were trying to do pretty well. I'll put these up in B tier. Then we have Streamlines, the original magazine-compatible darts. And legitimately, these were the original mag-compatible darts. They are pretty much the first version of Elite darts, and they absolutely suck. They barely work in anything. They work moderately okay in the long shot, and not much else, because blasters released back in the day didn't really support them very well, and blasters released now don't work with them either, so they just kind of fell into this gray area. You can't really use them in the AEGs like the Vulcan or anything like that, because they kind of cut off the air seal that the whistlers and suction darts provided, and they are really proprietary to very few blasters like the Deploy and stuff like that just didn't work that well. So honestly, these could have definitely been better, and just like Vesic says, D tier. I think these were the worst darts created throughout N-Strike's days, with Whistlers being second place and the suction darts being in first place. Hello, Owl. Vortex is goated. We'll get to Vortex, don't worry. Hello, Tundra and Dwarf Lord. Then we have Dart Tag. These darts are absolutely amazing, and I feel like they don't get enough credit. They were created very cool and original. Hello, local trash can. They were very cool and original. They were done very well. They're pretty much Whistler darts, but they solve the durability problem that Whistler darts had and add a super fun mechanic to where they have Velcro over the edge. So they stick to Velcro things, and then you had Velcro vests and Velcro shields and stuff that they stuck to. Dart Tag is honestly pretty underrated. No, Whistlers are the best. They whistle, but they fall apart. Hello, British. Hello, Army of Chickens. Gosh, everybody's showing up. I'm talking to the chat. I said I wasn't going to talk to the chat, but I have to talk to the chat because it's in my nature to talk to the chat. Hello, Kingston. Honestly, these go up in A tier. These darts are freaking great. The only problem with them is that they don't fit in magazines, so they're pretty proprietary with what blasters they use in, being limited to stuff that takes cylinders back in the day or front loaders and stuff like that. They don't work in everything, but the blasters they do work in, they're pretty freaking cool. I really like these a lot. Dart Tag Whistlers or regular Dart Tag darts? Dart Tag darts. Did Dart Tag have Whistlers? Let me take a look. Let me make sure. Are these different than regular Dart Tags? Oh my gosh, they are. I mean, hang on. Technical difficulties. I have to add one. Thank you. Let me put the Dart Tag Whistler in there. Alrighty. Now we're back. Dart Tag Stormfire was a cylinder stampede. Ah, my ears. What? Okay, I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if the mic's too loud or what. Just tell me. On that note, Dart Tag Whistlers, I haven't really seen these much. I completely forgot or didn't even know that there were Dart Tag Whistlers, but just the idea of that, having Dart Tag darts that also whistle, if these worked, that's S tier. That's amazing. That's like every good thing about old school darts put together at once. The typing. Oh, I'll type faster. I'll type more. Put Ultra in S tier. Oh, we'll get to Ultra, don't worry. Don't worry. Whistlers aren't about performance. They're about sending a message. Absolutely. And send a photo to Fayez. Alright, I'll do that at the very end. I'll send a picture of that to him. So then we get to the Elite Darts. Oh boy, the Elite Darts. Everybody knows what these are. Elite Darts are a hot mess. They were created basically to one-up the Streamline Darts and be better than the Streamline Darts. And they succeeded pretty well. For a short period of time, Elite Darts were genuinely really good. But then there were more accurate darts created with stuff like Koosh darts, so Elite Darts quickly became outdated and quickly just became Chaos Darts. That's what I like to call them, because you don't know where they're going, the enemy doesn't know where they're going. Honestly, Elite Darts do work really well in fast, fully automatic blasters. I feel like that is where Elite Darts shine, because you can basically use Elite Darts to turn a full auto blaster into a long-range full auto shotgun. And that's really fun. And these darts are made pretty well. They are... You better put Vortex on S tier. Just let me work. Let me do this. I'll get to all these darts. But elite darts genuinely have some purpose. It's just very limited with what purpose you can use them with. So for that reason, I'm not going to put these down in WTF. I'm going to put these up in C tier. They're not as bad as they definitely could be. They are honestly pretty usable. And then we get to elite suction darts. So take the N-Strike suction dart and make it compatible with everything now, and that is the elite suction dart. I have used these darts relatively short, but I have gotten to use them for a decent period of time. And my opinion on these darts is they're pretty good. They're not bad at all. They shoot not very straight, but they do definitely shoot decently. And they accomplish their goal. They stick to windows and stuff, and they're really, really fun. I want to get some of these. I don't have any of these. I've never owned them. I used them at a friend's house, and they were pretty fun. So I will give them points where points are due. And then we get to AccuStrike darts. Now, anyone with a pulse would expect me to put these darts all the way up in like S tier, A tier, but B tier. These darts are overrated and they're not very good. Should have replaced elite darts. Yeah. AccuStrike darts are plagued with issues. The biggest issue being they don't work in springers, like at all. They work almost kind of mediocre in springers, and they constantly get squibs, and they're also made extremely badly to where the dart heads will go flying off like constantly. I have lost dart heads on AccuStrikes more than I've lost dart heads on any other dart type, even Ultras, which are notorious for decapping constantly. AccuStrikes legitimately were half-assed, and that sucks because they could have really done something with AccuStrikes. But as they stand now, AccuStrikes are not very good, and I would legitimately unironically try and use suction darts over AccuStrikes. I just don't think AccuStrikes are very good. Elite suctions are severely underrated. Genuinely. Koosh darts are better, but Koosh darts aren't created by Hasbro. This is Hasbro ammo. Then we get Mega darts. I am very mixed on Mega darts, because Mega darts are one of my personal favorites. I think Mega darts are fun. Suctions are the better AccuStrike. Legit. Hello, cheeseburger. Mega darts are fun, but they're also really space occupying, and they have all the same problems as elite darts. There's not much reason to use Mega darts unless you get Mega AccuStrikes, and even then those have been made obsolete because of Mega XL. I would put these in C tier. They are fun, but they are pretty much useless, and that comes down to these Mega AccuStrikes. Mega AccuStrikes are so much better than the standard Mega Dart because they fix the problem that elite darts have with the ability to be a shield buster in most Nerf types. So these honestly go up in A tier. Mega AccuStrikes are pretty goated. I think that these are really good. I only have a few. I want to get more of these. I tried off-brand Whirlybird Mega Darts, which don't work very well, but they work decently well. I don't know. If it ain't AccuStrike, put them in C. I guess. Why does a Fuse Fire Trigger just decide to not work sometimes? I don't know. And then we get Mega XL. This is an ammo type that did not get used enough. Hello, King Kiwi. This ammo type did not get used enough. I think that Mega XLs are almost perfect. These are S tier. They are everything about Mega Darts with better accuracy. They're not AccuStrike level accuracy, but they're bigger, they're chunkier, and they're fun. And there is so much that you can do with them. You're basically unlimited with what you're able to do with Mega AccuStrikes. If you can get it to fit on a blaster, it'll probably work, and it'll probably work really good. I love Mega XLs so much. I don't think that they are appreciated nearly enough. And then we come to Demolisher Rockets. These things suck. I don't like them. Demolisher Rockets have potential, definitely. They're basically the Nerf nuke of the modern generation, and there's a lot of blasters that they work in. The problem is that every single blaster that they work in absolutely sucks. Every single one sucks. MXL accurate, the hell you want, boy. They're sure as hell more accurate than elite darts. I've been playing with Mega XLs for a while. Busby Mega darts are the best. Yeah, they're basically Mega suction darts. The problem with Demolisher rockets is that they are outside of a barn from inside. I don't know what you're talking about. The problem is every single blaster that Mega XL darts use is a hamp. Only hamps. The only one that doesn't isn't made by Hasbro. That's like the Busby. It's sitting right behind me. The Ultimate Missile Blast, the Ultimate Berserker, the Barbarian, the Blastzuka. Like, only stuff that Busby made aren't hamps. And the hamps suck. They're terrible hamps. They're not good hamps. And the best part is that even when you do get to fire it, they do not go where you're aiming. Ever. They go in some random direction. 80% of the time, they curve straight into the ground. About 20% of the time, they'll fly off in some random direction. And then 0.0000001% of the time is... Or no, 0.0000001% of the time, they will travel in a straight, perfect line and glide for a really long time before going exactly where you want them to go. Demo rockets are hamp. MXL are all springers. That's what I said. You're not paying attention. You're too busy playing that stupid game. I can see it on the Steam profile. And then we get to the Titan rocket. The Titan rocket is unbelievably fun, but kind of ultimately useless, because the Titan rocket was only included on the original Titan. They never really used it for anything else, and while it is very fun, it's also really proprietary and hard to come by, and there's not much that you can do with it. If you modify a Titan, you can't use it anymore, because the only way to modify it is to single it. No one said MXL or hamp. Huh. I guess I must have misspoke because I'm too busy reading the chat. This thing is cool. This thing is cool. I cannot put it up in like S or A tier, but I will definitely put it in B tier. I think it's a fun ammo type that definitely puts it where it needs to go. Or it definitely does what it needs to do. But they really should have used it on more stuff, because the nuke is so fun. Honestly, nah, I'll put it in A tier. It's still not S tier because it's just too proprietary and it's way too friggin' hard to find. Even back in the day, it was the nuke, and it was the, if you launch this, you destroy everything. Amazing. Now we get to the weird ones. These are the Rip Rockets. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know what it is. I kind of understand what it is. It's like the anti-Nerf dart. They work on two super proprietary blasters that both are terrible. One of them is like a freaking ground hamp thing that you step on. The other one is a terrible bow that's trying almost to be like the big bad bow, but it's made out of nothing. They're made of cheap, awful feeling plastic. These are WTF. I don't even know what the heck this is. I nearly fainted because I thought you put N series in A tier. No, these are Dart Tag. This is not N series. This is Dart Tag Whistlers. N series is all the way over here. And then we get the Rebel/Zombie Strike arrows, which are pretty much exactly the same thing as the Rip Rocket arrows, except they're even more expensive, made even worse, and they don't even fly straight. They don't do anything right. They bend immediately. They're ugly. They don't work. WTF was the point of these things. These things freaking suck. I can't stand them. The only reason that I have them at all is because the Dreadbolt is so much fun. If it wasn't for the Dreadbolt being fun, I would put these so far. I would make a new tier just to show how bad these arrows are. These things are the worst ammo type I've ever seen. I don't understand why they were created at all. In conclusion, A tier. Down to the gutter tier you go. Now we get the big arrows. These, now, okay, Before everyone tells me, I know that there are two types of big arrows. There's the 9-inch variants and the 11-inch variants. But they're both basically the same. It's just one's a little bit bigger, and I cannot find any form of difference between the two arrows. I'm pretty sure they have like the same velocity, they shoot about the same, it's just one slightly bigger than the other, so I'm counting them as the same ammo type. And also, I'm pretty sure the only blaster, if not like one or two very specific blasters that used the 11-inch arrows were the 95 crossbow and maybe something else. So I don't know. But the 9-inch arrows are pretty damn underrated. These arrows are pretty fun. They work in the Big Bad Bow and the Blazing Bow, and they sail pretty good. If you were to put like a rubber dart head on the front, like make a rubber dart head out of like a cone or something, and put it on the front, the sharp shot ammo, I'd put it in B tier. I'll get back to that. That's dart tag. Dart tag's in A tier. I feel like these darts are pretty underrated. They do have the issue where the front of them is just flat, so they don't really sail that well. They do get pretty good spin, and they do work relatively decently. So I would genuinely put these up in A tier. I think that these are pretty underrated. So then we get to the iconic one, the Vortex discs. The sharpshooter, even then, that's still old school Mega, that's B tier. Vortex discs are pretty fun. They're frisbees that are made beautifully. They work well, they shoot well, you can put them in magazines, they just... they're really, really nice. I really love Vortex. I feel like Vortex is one of the few cases where Nerf made an ammo type so good that they almost could never freaking... it never could have freaking like made it better. Like there's no way to one-up Vortex except for Rival, but we'll get to Rival later. Vortex is really fun. All the blasters that shoot Vortex is fun. You can't find them complete. That's fair. I have two of them, both missing the heads. Huh. It has wings. Huh. I need water, so I'll be right back. Bricko, you know what to do. If anybody tries to destroy my chat, shut them up. I need my shoes, so I can get my water. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna kill you, Owl. Nobody needs to be talking about that stupid freaking game. Especially not here. My sharpshooter also appears to slam fire 90% of the time, even though it doesn't have that capability. Weird. Alrighty, I'm back. Vortex is definitely S tier. And now we get to Ultra. Ultra is a hot mess. I mean, I don't understand why or how this ammo type failed so badly. Like, it's not rocket science. You make an ammo type to make an ammo type. You don't make an ammo type to completely destroy your brand. They made an ammo type to completely destroy their brand. And that's what Ultra was. I just don't get it. I don't get what you mean. Like, The original concept of Ultra was to pretty much reinvent the dart and to make a better optimized dart. But they completely failed. They optimized it in all the wrong ways, and they made a proprietary disaster that doesn't work. The only thing that's really good about Ultra darts is the fact that they are extremely durable on the body, at least. The foam is really good. I love the foam. Kingston, stop spamming or I'm going to have to mute you. But everything else about it, the dart heads go flying off. They're not accurate. They don't have any redeeming qualities to them whatsoever. They're overpriced and they're just dumb. These go in WTF. I don't get why. Not to mention, because they were created in a proprietary series where the first blaster released was $50 and the second blaster released was $25, it was just a disaster. Now we have Ultra Whistler darts, or Sonic Screamers as they call it, but I just call them Whistler darts because they whistle. These are a little bit better. I would say that these are a little bit better because, as a durability, I guess. Yeah. But, like, Ultra Whistlers are definitely fun. And I feel like with the speed, Whistlers are genuinely pretty good. They're not that bad. I wouldn't mind using Ultra Whistlers on the Ultra Speed. Because, again, as I said earlier, chaotic darts means basically a shotgun blast. And these things make a lot of noise. They are loud and high-pitched and they're fun. So I'll put these in D tier. I can't really put them any higher than that because they're still Ultra darts. They still have all the same problems that Ultra darts do, but they don't. The dart heads have not flown off, and they make noise. So they are pretty fun, and they kind of embrace the chaotic factor. They're still way too expensive, but they're pretty fun. And then we have Ultra AccuStrikes. These are not bad, I guess. I mean, they are definitely accurate. I would say they're accurate, but they're not that much better. They work fine in pretty much every Ultra Blaster, and they shoot pretty accurately. They shoot as hard as regular Ultra darts, and the dart heads fly off on these more than they fly off on the black ones. I don't get it. I don't get what is wrong with the dart heads. Again, dart heads are pretty easy to just glue back on, but these are still just miles away. These go up in C tier at most. I can't bring them up to B tier because these ammo types are just better. The Ultra AccuStrikes, they're not very good. They're not very good. They work okay, but even then, they're still not very good. And now we get to the short darts. Now we get to the elite short darts. The ones that everybody's been whining about since the Strife X came out. They're AccuStrike darts, but now they're short darts. And somehow, the quality control on these is even worse than the original AccuStrike darts. They work great in the Strife X, I will give them that. These darts work phenomenally well in the Strife X. But they don't work in anything else. They don't work. Like, the Strife X was specifically designed for these dart heads, so it makes sense that it would work. But it, like, again, the same problem as AccuStrike, they don't work in springers, and they decap so easily. They decap all the time, so they're not reliable. I would rather use something like Worker Bamboo Darts, or not Worker, Dart Zone Bamboo Darts, or just Worker Darts, or Azure Dragons. These don't work very well. I will say they are definitely better than Ultra AccuStrikes, so I'll put them up in B tier, but they're right behind AccuStrikes. They're not that good. Now we get Rival Rounds. Rival Rounds were pretty much the immediate successor to Vortex, which is hilarious because Rival kind of came out right after Vortex died. Vortex died in 2013, I believe, if not 2014, and Rival came out in 2015. So it was like Rival was made to replace Vortex. And they do a very, very similar thing to Vortex. Rival rounds are odd. And what I mean by that is the way that they fly is super weird. They fly in a hook shape. So, like, let's say you're standing here, you shoot a rival round, it will fly like this. Like, it doesn't just go straight and then drop. It goes straight and then up and then down. So, rival rounds have a unique ability to be able to tomahawk over enemy defenses, which is unlike any other ammo type ever created. And they do it really good. The niche of being able to pretty much penetrate enemy defenses by going around the defenses is so badass. These go in A tier. The only reason that they don't go in S tier is because rival AccuStrikes exist. These fix the only problem that rival rounds fixed. Rival AccuStrikes do the same thing as rival, except they travel even straighter and even more accurately than regular rival rounds. And the tomahawking is a lot more pronounced on rival AccuStrikes. They fly up, and they go up, and then they go straight down. These are amazing. These are some of the best ammo I've ever seen, to the point where I am giving all my rival rounds to Phase 1 Foam in exchange for rival AccuStrikes. I'm going to get rival AccuStrikes with the money he gives me for all these rival rounds. Because these rounds are friggin' amazing. I love rival AccuStrikes so much. They work in everything phenomenally, and they're made with better foam than regular rival rounds. They're made with the same type of foam as something like Dart Zone Bamboo Darts. So it's thicker foam, and it's more densely packed foam. So they're more durable, they're nicer looking. Only problem is they're expensive, but genuinely really, really good. Really, really good. Then we get ballistic balls. Yeah, this was kind of like before Vortex was a thing, and kind of trying to do the same thing that Rival did, but ballistic balls failed. Ballistic balls failed hard. I have a few ballistic balls, and I have the buzzsaw. I think that's what it's called. I have the buzzsaw. That's the only thing I have that works with ballistic balls, and I will say they coast moderately well, but the problem is they're just not optimized. They're way too big, and they're too light, so they just kind of fall to the ground. You have to get a really good wind to get these to fly. They do fly really straight. I will say they fly accurately, and they can go kind of far in slow motion, but ballistic balls, you really have to be extra careful with how they work. I'm going to put them in C tier. They could be worse, but they could be a lot better, definitely. And then we get hyper rounds. What in the hell was Hasbro doing? Like, not gonna lie, Hyper very, very easily could have been the end of Rival. Really easily. The problem with Hyper is the fact that they're made of rubber. That's the problem. That's the only problem. But the problem is so bad that it prevents the rounds from sticking together. It's vintage 90s goodness. This is true. This is true. Back when these came out, they were doing something cool. I'll put them in A tier. You got a point there. They came out a very long time ago, and they were pretty cool for the time. Okay, but like, hyper rounds being made of rubber, they stick together and do not feed properly at all. There is a way to fix them, and it's really easy. You have to powder them, which means just like pouring a little bit of baby powder onto them and then mixing them together so the baby powder sinks into the rubber and kind of infuses it with it. Gives them a similar texture to rival AccuStrikes. But, yeah, even when you do that, they're still made of rubber. They're incredibly bouncy. They bounce all over the place. They're a disaster. These are a disaster. I will say, if you can get them to work, and you can get them to work well, you can honestly use them pretty effectively, which is why they're not going in WTF. And I have seen people make really good loadouts out of hyper rounds, optimizing them to the best that they can possibly put them. So these aren't going in WTF, they're going in D tier, but I cannot put them any higher than D tier. They're just too proprietary, they were a bad idea, and Hasbro removed them way too fast, so they never even had a lifespan to begin with. What about water? That's super soaker ammo. I don't know. Hello, FIDA 1543. I'm late. You're fine. I don't mind hyper as much as other people do, but I have to be objective and say these are not very good. They're not very good. You have to try to make them good. And now we get Gelfire. What is the point of Gelfire existing at all? What is the point of Gel existing at all? The point of Gelfire was to essentially bypass laws prohibiting the use of airsoft guns in certain countries. So, in some countries, you cannot use airsoft guns. They're illegal. That's what gel blasters were originally made for. And now they're a thing. For no reason. No reason at all. They're a thing. And they absolutely suck. I don't like gel blasters because they are single-use ammo. They're basically just airsoft. And every blaster that isn't awful is a generic full-auto AEG. Because it's meant to be like paintball or airsoft. It's just AEGs. There's no creativity. Hasbro tried to sprinkle some creativity in. They put some gel blasters in that did other things, like the Ghost, which is one of my favorite gel fire blasters, if not my favorite gel fire blasters at all. But gel blasters have high FPS. You know what else has high FPS? Your mom. Like, FPS does not make a blaster. FPS only means anything depending on the game that you're playing. But even then, you need accuracy. You need consistency. Both of which gel blasters lack greatly. Also, gel rounds are overpriced. Most blasters are overpriced. It's a completely different hobby, as Brickosaurus says. There is no reason for Nerf to be doing gel blasters at all. And that proved because Gelfire has been a train wreck of a series that has failed because of course it has. The rounds are flawed. They don't work. They're stupid. And also they make a mess. So there you go. That defeats the entire point of Nerf blasters, which is being able to have indoor fun without making a mess or breaking anything. These things make a mess. They break things. They suck. They're not good. And now we have the Nitro cars. Again! Where did this come from? Where did the Nitro cars even come from? Most people don't even remember the Nitro cars at all. I certainly do. I have one Nitro blaster. It's the weirdest ammo type I've ever seen. It's the weirdest series I've ever seen. The cars are unbelievably fun and unbelievably ridiculous for every reason that is not Nerf. And honestly, the cars work really good. You put them in a blaster, you put it on the floor, and you shoot, and they go flying. They go flying fast. And if you put obstacles set up and stuff, they're fun. They're really, really hilarious. I eat the little foam. That's bad. It's basically a different hobby. At least here in the States. They're basically only for kids who can't buy airsoft because it's too realistic. That's fair. Hot take here. These are amazing! I love the Nitro cars. I love the Nitro cars a lot. And do a review on the blaster. I would, but I don't even know how to review it. You can get the Nitro cars to do really fun stuff. It's kind of like playing with Hot Wheels. You really have to be in the mood to play with the Nitro cars, and they're not competitive blaster ammos at all. But, like, the Nitro cars have the childlike innocence that is what got all of us into Nerf in the first place. It's fun, it's goofy, it doesn't care, and it does everything it's trying to do super well. Like, every Nitro blaster, aside from maybe, like, the long shot smash thing, was really cool. They did what they were trying to do really good. The Moto Fury is one of my favorite looking blasters ever, and if I find one ever, I'm going to get it. I love the Nitro cars. Unbelievably underrated ammo type. These, like, I wish these had a better runtime and people didn't trash on them so much. I was only able to get one, which was, like, the 3-shot internal magazine blaster thing. I was only able to get that one before I never saw Nitro in stores again, and that sucks, because this is what made Nerf fun in the first place. Nitro cars are amazing. And now we get to this. The N1 darts are finally here. Finally here. And we're finally seeing them. You're probably expecting me to put these in WTF. Like, obviously. These are going to go in WTF. Because they're trying to replace full lengths. And it seems like, oh, it's terrible. It's awful. F for Nitro. You're despicable. You're despicable. But it's really hard to put like a number on what N1s are going to be from this point forwards. They're so new that we can't really judge them yet. But from everything I've experienced so far, the N1s are what Ultra wanted to be. These are small, cheap, affordable darts that are made incredibly well. The dart heads are solid, they're heavy, they're good, they're well balanced, they shoot accurately, they shoot far, they're pretty obvious to use, they're durable, they're made with the same foam as regular darts. They're not bad. These aren't bad darts. My experience with these is getting off to a very positive start. These are, in my opinion, A tier. At this point, they are A tier. I can't put these in S tier yet. I can't put them in S tier yet because I haven't gotten to experiment with them like at all. So take this with a big grain of salt. These are going in A tier from what I have seen right now. They are a genuine improvement over full-length darts. The consumer in me is saying, that's awesome. We're getting a good improvement over the 50 caliber foam dart. The hobbyist in me is crying because they're genuinely good. And they have the anti-nub on the back. The thing about the nub is that it isn't like the same as the Ultra darts where it was the weird like push button lock thing. It's just an air restrictor. It's just a different way to push down the air restrictor. And so they can be bypassed the exact same way as a regular dart. It's just slightly different. So honestly, it's not bad. I cannot sit here and say these darts are bad. I genuinely can't. I really am liking these darts. I am really liking them a lot. So these may move up to S tier in the future. In fact, they probably will. If they stay as my opinion is on them right now, these will go up to S tier. These are really, really good. For right now, though, I'm putting them in A tier. I can't put them in S tier, not until I have a definitive answer to how these things are going to go. So with all that said, here it is. This is it. I'm going to download this, and we're done. I'm going to post this in my server. I only like full lengths as I'm mostly a nostalgia nerfer. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the tier list for every ammo type that Nerf has ever made. I just posted it in my server. So, let me know what you think of this tier list. I don't know if I can send y'all this tier list or like anything. I wish I could, but unfortunately, I don't think that is gonna work since it's just a single-use tier list. But minor series or something to shut up people, hopefully. So this has been what I think. If I can get one cheap, and series is really cheap. They're not expensive at all. Let me know what you think. Let me know your tier list. Tell me in the comments. I would link this, but I can't. And with all that said, thank you guys for watching this stream. I will see y'all next time. Bye. Have a nice day. Have a nice trip. Hasta la vista. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Are they gone? Are we finished? Phew. I have a question. Would it be possible to make this stream self-destruct after it finishes? You know, like in the Mission Impossible film? Ah, here we go, here we go. Hi.
Hello.
So...
Is my...
Yeah, it's working. So would it be possible to make this stream self-destruct after it ends, like in the Mission Impossible films?
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, like, make everybody's computer blow up after the stream finishes.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, but I'm going to. Yeah, this is gonna be sick.